Hello, and welcome to Yes But. Today we're going to look at the newest Forgotten Realms books from Wizards of the Coast and see if they're worth the money. Alright, so let's begin. We have Heroes of Faerun and Adventures in Faerun. We're going to start with Heroes of Faerun, so I think that is the book that most people are going to be interested in. In fact, I'm pretty sure that that is the main focus, as most players are going to want this book. As usual, it's an excellent binding. WotC does a pretty good job overall with their books. I have the alternate cover edition here. It's a beautiful book with a nice inset typeset. As usual, the art is fantastic. This book covers a variety of options for players. As you can see, character options. If you were upset when the player's handbook came out and you did not have various options for the species, such as Drow, Duergar, and other options, those are in here, as they are specific to the various campaign settings. This also goes into some subclasses specific for the Forgotten Realms, though honestly these are kind of hit or miss. The Oath of the Noble Genies is kind of interesting. Honestly, outside of straight up evil campaign, I don't know any DM that would really want a Scion of the Three in their party. One of the best things in here, though, is probably the Bladesinger. If you want to play a wizard class that also, stab stuff, this is the way to go. The backgrounds are pretty nice, with slight name changes. Most of these could fill some holes left from the options in the player's handbook and be used in any campaign setting. The feats are really where some of the best things in this book come, though I'm not going to go in depth in this short overview. The feats are a lot of the better stuff in here. I didn't really get a chance to dig into the spells, but they also look to be pretty good. Chapter 2, The Guide to the Realms, is nice. It gives you the various names of the months, gives you an introduction to the general feel of Forgotten Realms, specifically Toril and this area of the Forgotten Realms. Gives you the names of various festivals, and even the individual names of currency, if you really want to get that granular in your role-playing. Gives you a breakdown of 10 different regions, which is pretty nice. I really like this map, as it shows you the cultural separations in a very visual way with the colors. And then, as you can see, each individual area gets a few pages of background. So if you are playing in a Forgotten Realms campaign and are in those areas, you can really dig into some of the lore. It gets about 4 pages, roughly, each area. And it goes into a number of different parts of the Forgotten Realms. As you can see, the art is, as always, quite good. Fast forward here a little bit through these. It covers the gods of Faerun, Selûne and her sister Shar. Here gives you a little bit of the background of the cosmology of the Forgotten Realms. A nice complete list. And then each god gets a half page, with some of the larger deities getting a full page, though the second part of the page is usually an organization underneath that particular god. For example, Bane gets here, and the Knights of the Black Gauntlet there. Shantae gets this portion, while the Seeds of Cultivation on this side, Gond, the Gatherers of Gond, and so on. But this is a nice primer for anybody looking to play a cleric or a paladin. One of the best sections of the book is Aurora's whole Realms catalog. While it's not a very long selection of magical items, it does have some gorgeous pictures to show you what the items look like. It has items ranging from the very practical Adventurer's Ring to the exceptionally whimsical Wind Skiff. Following that, we have one of the bigger highlights in the Magic of Faerun, where they have introduced us to Circle Magic rules. This is particularly intriguing, considering the history of Circle Magic and breaking the weave within the Nethril mythos of the Forgotten Realms and its return in recent times. So I find the addition of these rules to be somewhat curious in the greater scheme of things as far as the Forgotten Realms goes, for those of you familiar with the Forgotten Realms lore, of which I do not profess to be all that knowledgeable. I really have a fairly slightly deeper than surface level knowledge of the Forgotten Realms. This particular Factions of the Realms in Chapter 6 is one of my favorite parts of the book. Gives you just enough of a primer for different player characters to know the relationships between the factions, which factions they may want to be part of, and more importantly, which factions they may want to fight against. And that's really the gist of the Heroes of Faerun book. A nice map in the back. It retails for $49.99. The Adventures in Faerun book is for the Dungeon Master, and it also has a plethora of information. It breaks down the various regions, gives you a quick primer on running the realms. I don't know how much you really need that, but then it breaks down into the Dalelands, Icewind Dale, Kalimshan, Moonshae Islands, and Baldur's Gate, which I find a little curious that they went with specifically Baldur's Gate and not entirely the Sword Coast, though that may have something to do with the existence of Adventurers of the Sword Coast, the supplementary book from the 2014 edition of Dungeons & Dragons. Now, in my opinion, like I said, they go in depth, and they give you a lot of meat to create campaigns within these various areas. Many of them have adventures already produced for 2014 D&D as well. It gives you Baldur's Gate is a nice section in that it gives you an update on things that have happened since the events of the Adventures in Avarice and Baldur's Gate 3. But one of the best parts about this is at the beginning here, you can see they give you a number of one-page adventures that you can just kind of jump right in. Most DMs that have been running for a little while can take the information here and create a one-shot pretty easily, or a start of a much longer campaign. But if you got a night where you need something to throw together pretty quick, these are nice. They do kind of follow the old school rule from the first and second editions of, fill in the blanks. If you have questions, make it up. DM discretion, as they called it back in the day. But they're still quite nice, and every single area has some very nice maps, close-ups of the various parts of those areas. As you can see, Mythgran Ore there. It's a nice Dalelands map, and each section also has adventures specifically for those sections. And realistically, that's the entirety of the adventures in Faerun book. Like I said, it's quite a good resource if you are running a adventure in the Forgotten Realms. I think it's one of the better source books that they've put out in a while. They have an adventure here at the end there to start you within. It starts at level 1, but it'll take you at least through 3rd level, I believe. But a nice short introductory adventure for the Forgotten Realms. And then some magic items in the back. And a nice little bestiary. Just for a handful of specific creatures for the Forgotten Realms. Like I said, for those who are playing in the Forgotten Realms or in a Forgotten Realms campaign, for those running a Forgotten Realms campaign, or somebody who is a collector, these may be worth looking into picking up, though I might suggest trying to find them on sale somewhere, as the price tag of $59.99 and $49.99 are fairly high, honestly, in my opinion, for what you're getting overall, especially in the current economy. That being said, if you're a collector, if you really like the Forgotten Realms, or you're in a current Forgotten Realms campaign, at least for players to share, you might want to go in and get a Heroes of Faerun. And DMs, this can be an excellent resource. However, with the vast plethora of other resources for Forgotten Realms out there, I feel like it might be easier just to adapt something from an earlier edition. Anyways, if you've liked this content and enjoyed, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel as we're trying to grow. If you would like to support us more, you can check out my Patreon. Information is in the description below. Again, thank you, and peace out, Goose.